Wake your damn drunk ass up. You know what time it is. It's Sports Frenzy 2.0, baby. The weekend edition. Your politically incorrect Saturday morning hangover cure. Everything pop culture. It is May the 1st as we tape it. Drops Saturday the 4th. So may the 4th be with you today, kids.
Yeah, very special day for the Conquistador, your Uncle Dave, and I, the Maestro, your Uncle Kev, Judas Priest, and Sabaton.
The second concert in 2 days, because as you listen to this, the night before we kicked off the summer of rock.
That is right. So next week, 2 concert reviews for you. The Big Growl from Four Winds Field in South Bend, Indiana, and Judas Priest and Sabaton from the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo. Summer rock and roll has begun.
Woohoo! Light it up.
That being said, this week,
Very low key.
Got a lot of songs. We'll get through that. And then Dave and I are just kind of going to do like a free form for the rest of the show.
It's been one of those weeks where it just kind of meandered along and got away from us.
Well, I thought I was going to be on jury duty.
Right. So we really didn't.
Until just a few hours ago. So while I wanted to prep, what was the point if it was going to screw everything up?
Yeah.
We didn't even know if we were going to be recording this together this week. But fear not!
We've got you covered. There's enough.
We've got beer. We've got hot ghost pepper almonds. We've got a bag of fucking caramel candy. We are ready to rock and roll.
Yes, we are. Which is what we do first every single week. We have 4 songs lined up for you, kids.
Your Uncle Dave takes the lead on this because I love to see where he wants to go.
Let's start at the bottom and work our way up.
Okay. This is what I'm telling you, kids. This is what makes it fun. Because we do not compare notes ahead of time.
Do not.
That's what makes this fun and spontaneous.
Yeah, I have to go. God, I hate to say it. The weak link of this week is the first offering from the revamp Motley Crue, Dogs of War.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that to a point. I do.
The guitar work, we got solid guitar work.
John 5 taking over.
John 5 took over. This is the type of guitar work we expected out of Mick Mars on his solo project that we didn't get.
Yeah. John 5's probably the standout on this song.
Yeah, by far. Lyrically, very mundane and repetitive and not much to it. And vocally, it's what you get anymore from Vince.
Well, you wonder if they don't tone the songwriting down to benefit him.
Maybe, but
not expecting him to stretch more than he can.
Then you need to replace him at this point. Because if the quality is going to be like this, I don't want to listen to more.
Now, I think you're being a little harsh.
Am I?
I will agree with you that this is probably the weakest of the 4 songs we're going to be reviewing. But that doesn't mean it's bad.
I did not like it. I could not get into it at all.
See, I would give it a strong 2.5 frenzies.
I give it a weak 2.5.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Over some of what we've gotten.
Yes. But I agree with a lot of your criticisms. I do. It's very repetitive, but it's still something that I'll listen to.
We'll see. Jury's out still for me. I will have to see how the rest of this goes.
All right, what's next if we go from bottom to top for you?
Oh.
He's having trouble here, kids.
I am, because the rest kind of elevate up more for me.
They're all
So
there together?
they're
Hard
kind
to...
of, well, the middle two are kind of together.
Okay. And you got one that's far and
Mm,
away the best.
one far and away the best, but
Okay.
I will go next up. Kings of Leon, Nothing to Do. Very solid 2.5, borderline 3 for me. The more I listen to it, it's that earworm that you really start to get into.
Now this will delineate some of the differences between your Uncle Dave and I. Is that he has been very patient with me as I have kind of forced Kings of Leon on him. I know better than to do that with Pearl Jam. I know better than to do that with Dave Matthews Band. But I can tell he could possibly end up liking Kings of Leon down the road.
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah. Here's the problem. The tepid response you've got to this song is embarrassing. This is by far the best of the 3 songs they have put out so far. This rocks. This rocks. This song is nasty, mean. It rocks. And I know what song you're going to put next, and I am completely against this.
Oh, you didn't care for the Cold Stairs?
No, it didn't say that. I said immediately when we were talking about Motley Crue, I said I liked all 4 of them. I said the Crew was the worst of the 4. Now, first off, I will give Nothing to Do 3.5 frenzies.
Wow. All right.
Because it's so fucking awesome.
There you go.
That does not mean the Cold Stairs Horse to Water is bad. I'm just saying, I think you've got your priorities flipped, young man. I think
Yeah, well, that's you being
love
the Kings of Leon.
You love the Cold Stairs. You, of course, introduced me to the Cold Stairs. I'm sorry, to the Cold Stairs.
Yeah. So it's our preference in the where we tend to lean on
Now,
this one.
Yes, Horse to Water by the Cold Stairs has a little bit of a really hard rock riff to start the song off.
Yeah, and then it kind of gets a little mellowish, but it's still very solid.
No, I liked it, but again, this is why I wanted you to rank everything.
There you go.
So I will give Horse to Water a strong 2.5 frenzies.
See, I'm giving it a 3. Not strong, not weak, but just kind of right there.
Yeah. I think we're going to end up agreeing on the top pick, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hold On to the Dream, Sebastian Bach.
But again, this tricks you. This song will trick you.
It does. I was actually...
I thought it was going to be a cheesy, sappy ballad when I saw the title and how it starts out.
Yeah. But then he just kicks you in the fucking balls and tramples all over you as it kicks into overdrive and rocks the house down.
This is the prototypical sing-along anthem for an arena.
It is. This is
old school Skid Row level stuff.
Yes. Sebastian Bach's vocals are still as solid as they were when he first started out.
Yes. And we'll be talking about that in a couple minutes with somebody else, but I'm learning to appreciate more and more the lead singers, the vocalists, going all the way back to the 70s and the 80s, the bands that we love, who can maintain the voice, can keep the voice intact, because now we hear all these rumors and rumblings about backing tracks and vocal surgery. And
those
Sebastian
who just shouldn't be singing anymore
somehow can still make it work.
Yeah, this by far
3.5.
3.5. Solid, super solid 3.5. I am so looking forward to this album.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that yes, we end up sounding like negative Nellies because we expect a lot from the bands that we love.
Because
So
they set a high bar. And we would hope that they would be able to maintain that level or have very little drop off. But we've been seeing such a huge drop off from bands.
yeah, very, very rarely lately have we seen bands able to maintain a high level. Foo Fighters disappointed last album, big time. Sebastian Bach, this with 3 songs out, sounds like it could be one of the top albums of the year. Now, I will say that for Kings of Leon as well.
From what we've had so far, I'm inclined to go with you at that point.
There's a Mustang in the city. There's a Muscle magazine. I know you love that line.
God.
But for the most part, I think we're in sync.
Yeah.
You know, I again, we agree that Sebastian Bach, this album sounds like he finally, maybe in his solo career, gets it. Unlike maybe Mark Knopfler a couple weeks ago, where he still wants to do his own thing. And even though we get the occasional glimpses of brilliance, like in 2 Pairs of Hands, which I tell you, it's still going to be
2 Pairs of Hands is
probably
fantastic.
my top song of the year right now.
Yeah.
Because it just reminds me of the old school Dire Straits so much. But the rest of the album puts you to sleep.
He's stuck in a rut that he cannot get out of.
But where Sebastian Bach's early solo stuff, he went too far with the melt your face, screaming and yelling. This album, 3 songs in, sounds like it could be he's realized, I'm going to take that Skid Row formula and go back to that.
Because that works.
The arena sing-alongs, the harmonies, the vocals. I'm not going to scream and shred my vocal cords through 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see how
that
it
album's
goes.
about 2 weeks out. About 2 weeks out.
Yep,
and we'll have our
are
review.
waiting for it.
Yep, May's going to be fun because we've got Sebastian Bach. We have got Kings of Leon. We have got the double album from Collective Soul.
We've got our concert reviews for you next week. So it's going to be a fun month, kids.
All right. Should we discuss what next week's songs should be?
Sure.
I have a couple ideas. I love to do this live on the broadcast, on the podcast.
It's always fun. You get a preview.
And you can always veto if you don't like these suggestions. Now, I think we talked about this. 2 new songs from the Hives. Not new, but unreleased.
Yeah.
Songs from the Hives. Off the deluxe edition of Lex Hives. Insane and High School Shuffle. How are you feeling about Deep Purple? You want to give Deep Purple a shot?
We can give it a try.
Brand new album coming out, Equals One. First single is Portable Door.
All right. Is it going to be Mr. Coverdale on vocals?
No, Ian Gillan.
Ah,
Ian
okay.
Gillan's still with the band now.
All right.
Yeah. And how you feeling about some Richie Sambora?
That could be good or it could be bad. We can give it a shot.
Okay. First single, he's got 4 songs coming out over the next month, once a week. The first one is I Pray. And I think it's all because of the whole Bon Jovi documentary, which we'll discuss here in a minute. Got one more. This one, I very interested to see what you think of this one. We talked about it with the anniversary edition of Rebel Yell coming out.
Right.
The one other song, we reviewed the Rose Royce cover.
Yeah.
But the one song that was never released, finally, is out there. Best Way Out of Here which of course Billy Idol describes as a lost and forgotten Prince song.
Well, how many of those are floating around?
But he's just talking about the feel and the
Yeah.
sound of it.
I'm intrigued.
All right. So we're going to kind of meld, if it's okay with Dave, we're going to meld movies and music together now.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because there's a lot of stuff floating out there, and I will admit, again, a bad week for me. I'll take the hit.
Yeah,
I couldn't commit to anything fully. Again, jury duty. I didn't know what this whole week was going to look like.
Yeah, we spent a lot more time outside, even into the evening hours, a little bit more as the weather's gotten nicer, trying to get some stuff done. So
Right. So now there are 4 different documentaries, streaming shows involving music bands that we love that are out there right now. So let's discuss them casually, because I can't make a firm commitment to any of them right now, because let's start off with Bon Jovi. We just talked about Richie Sambora.
Right.
So the Bon Jovi one, the Bon Jovi documentary on Hulu should take center stage. What I think it's called Thank You, Good Night.
Yeah, something like that.
Now,
I'm not paying attention because I don't have
right,
Hulu.
you don't have Hulu.
So.
I know you don't have Hulu. This is the one I put the most time into because of 2 reasons in particular. Number one, I wanted to hear about the tour, the 2022 tour.
That we were unfortunate enough to have attended.
Yes.
And how shit his vocals were and how bad the sound was.
And the other part was I wanted to get more information about the split between him and Richie Sambora. Now, the one thing about this, I will say right now, is I'm 2 episodes in. Can I just tell you, that's 3 hours. Okay? It's a 4-part documentary.
It's
almost 6 hours.
Good Lord.
There's a little too much Bon Jovi. A little too much.
You would have been better off watching Breaking the Band, which the Dee Snider series where they talk about the band breakups.
Yeah.
Within an hour, things are covered.
So I'm halfway through. I got through the first 2 episodes. And these are my impressions to this point. And I almost texted you.
We can actually compare this because I watched the Bon Jovi Breaking the Band. So this will be a good back and forth.
Yet, though. I'm not to the breakup yet. I'm not to the break. They set it up so that Richie Sambora doesn't even come in until the end of the first episode. At the end of the first episode, he says, "So are we going to tell lies? We're going to tell the truth? What?" And that's how they end the first episode. So I love that. That was kind of a nice.
That's good.
A nice teaser to bring you in for the second episode. But I almost texted you because they go in depth on the 2022 tour, and he mentions John Bon Jovi explicitly mentions Indianapolis. 10th show in.
The one we were at.
And he says, all he will say is, yeah, the lipstick is a little bit smeared on that one. Basically won't admit the fact that the show was shit.
There you go.
And throughout the first episode, we see all that he's going through to try to prep himself for that 2022 tour. He never, ever, ever should have fucking gone out on tour. He stole the money from all the fans. And he knows it. He goddamn well knows it. He can sit there, and that's all he does through 2 episodes, is he talks about how great he is and how hard he's worked. He
get
never,
out there.
ever talks about the fans. He never, through 2 episodes, talks about the fans.
That's not good.
No wonder his idol is Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
Another guy
that's telling.
who really doesn't give 2 ripped shits about his fans.
And maybe.
And then you got to deal with the 2 remaining members of the original lineup. Tico Torres, the drummer, and David Bryan. How many times have you sucked Bon Jovi's dick over the years? Because that's, oh my God, this is the greatest experience in the world, and it's just a wonderful ride that I've been on. Yeah, because otherwise you'd have been working at a car wash, bitch. Of course you're going to kiss Bon Jovi's ass. This is not like Van Halen. We'll talk about them in a minute. Van Halen, despite the fact it was named after the 2 brothers, was always a cohesive unit. Michael Anthony was always an integral part. Wolfgang Van Halen, when he came in at the end, an integral part. David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, important parts of the band. It was an equal partnership. Yeah. Whether you want to believe it or not, it was.
Yeah.
At the best moments, all 4 of them bonded together to make great music.
Yeah. And nothing said that shows the integral part other than Eddie allowing Dave to take creative control over all the videos.
And then at the end, which we were blessed to be able to see 3 times, when Dave came back and Eddie begrudgingly, he said, this is what the fans want, but it still was magic.
Yeah.
It was still phenomenal because they worked well together. This whole Bon Jovi thing, I get tired of listening to John Bon Jovi, so great. Oh, he's so awesome. He's visionary. I don't respect Bon Jovi anymore.
No,
after
not
watching.
For...
I'll watch the rest of it. I will. I'll
if
gut
he's
it out.
Not going to acknowledge the fans and acknowledge his success comes from the support of the fans, then the hell with him.
I didn't get it. There are other people out there who might say, you're wrong, Maestro. You're absolutely wrong. He gives and gives and gives to the fans. That's not what I saw in the first 2 episodes. That is not the man I saw in the first 2 episodes. I saw an egomaniac who was driven, passionate and driven, to achieve a goal. Good for him. But it was obvious
at this point, that's what comes across in Breaking the Band. Is he pushed and pushed and pushed.
He did not want the spotlight on anybody but himself, is the impression I'm getting. And that's, now Richie Sambora's got his own issues.
Oh, yeah.
He seems like he was drunk off his ass in the 2nd episode when they finally bring him in to discuss Slippery When Wet in New Jersey. But John Bon Jovi makes it all. I was a driving force. I was the rock and roll gene. Dude, I cannot stand the fact
that you're not going to give any other credit to your bandmates.
Well, and I can't stand the fact that Jan Winter kissed his ass when there were so many other better bands out there. Motley Crue, Rat, going back to the 70s, Styx, REO Speedwagon, and he just
so much better.
Oh, John Bon Jovi. And I remember working at Camelot Music when New Jersey was out, and it was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, you don't have nobody. When they look at influences, younger bands, I don't remember anybody ever saying Bon Jovi is one of the bands that influenced me.
No.
It's Van Halen. It's the Crew. Going back to the 70s, it's Styx and REO. Yeah. Nobody cites Bon Jovi as an influence. Because Bon Jovi was derivative. Now, for a few years there, they were the best derivative band in the world.
Yeah, they had some solid stuff that they put out there.
Oh, and they got to bring in Desmond Child. The worst. The man who destroyed rock and roll. Desmond Child is notorious for coming in, swooping in when a band is losing their way. Like Aerosmith.
You've got to do more ballads.
Yeah, he's the one that writes all these fucking ballads for the hard rock bands. Yes, he's made a shit ton of money. And that's the thing. Where do you draw the line between, the Kardashians make millions upon millions. Are they really worth anything, though, when it comes to social relevance? No. They're dumb as a box of goddamn rocks. And Desmond Child, as a songwriter, offends me. As a lifelong fan of rock and roll, Desmond Child and the garbage he wrote for Aerosmith.
The tripe that he put out there.
And the songs he wrote with Bon Jovi. And he acts like, oh, I'm one of the greatest songwriters of all time. No, you're a piece of crap. All you just play down to the lowest common denominator.
Yep, you get the airplay song.
All right, moving on we'll have more on Bon Jovi when I finish it up. I'm halfway through. Again, they haven't broken up yet, so.
Well, so far we're at that point, and breaking the band, it's how they started, and it leads in to the breakup.
Right.
So.
I am working on Bob Marley. One Love. All I will say, I got to be very tricky here. Very careful with what I say. This is the first movie I have ever had to turn subtitles on for.
Oh, because the accents are so
thick.
Oh
my God, the Rastafman is just so thick. I could not understand a single word they're saying. And after 20 minutes, I finally had to go, I've got to put on subtitles because I just don't understand what they're saying. And beyond that, this is another, just like John Bon Jovi. I'm drawing the parallel here between Bob Marley and Bon Jovi, the projects we're talking about. This documentary, this movie. These guys are not perfect. Could we not act like they are? The opening scene of One Love, he is driving around in a car in Jamaica, smoking a joint with his two boys in the car with no seatbelts. Oh, here's the role model, though. Here's the role model who's going to bring us all together.
Yeah. But did the car have seatbelts? Think about when it was.
I get that. But then you got to delve deeper into the fact that his guru down in Jamaica and Rita, who ends up being his muse, his wife, talks about I is I. We're all one person, so it's not we and you and me, it's I. And then literally 10 seconds later, his guru is sitting there preaching about, I don't pray to the white man's Jesus. White man's Jesus doesn't, my Jesus is a black man. It's like, so where's the goddamn unity? Where's the unity in that talk, in that speech? Oh, but we're all together. I is I. We're all one people. No, you're not. You're just like these assholes on these campuses today. You
talking out both sides.
You preach unity, yet you care nothing except destruction and death for your enemies and the people that don't agree with you. Yes, I'll admit it. I hate this movie so far.
All right.
And I will finish it off again to prove a point. I will get through the whole goddamn thing, and if it ends up being better in the end, fine. But right now, this is another piece of fucking propaganda to divide us and split us apart. Sorry, that's how I'm seeing it. It's hypocritical bullshit.
As is much of life.
All right, and one final thing. I know I am the old get off my lawn guy. We're all acknowledging that. We all get that. Dave gets it, you get it, I get it. Self-awareness is key to being happy in life, or being miserable in my case. So I can bitch and piss and moan about Bob Marley all I want and the pot smoking. But here's the thing. Going back, my question is, going back to last week, when we talked about Great Britain, and we talked about how they wanted to ban smoking outright.
Right.
Here's the hypocrisy that I think is going to come into play. And I understand completely. You don't smoke. I don't smoke. I find it disgusting. I'm not going to speak for you.
No, I can't stand it.
But I just see this going down a road where they're going to say, if you smoke tobacco, you're evil. And you're banned. But if you smoke pot, we love that. We're okay with that.
No, we're not.
The government, the U.S. government just
downgraded it. I know. And
it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical.
Big time. I hate the fucking smell of that shit. It makes me
all
want
of it.
To
I don't
puke.
care if it's pot, tobacco. I hate all of it.
I can deal with tobacco a little bit more, but the marijuana is so damn sweet. It makes me want to puke. I can't stand it. It's revolting.
But I'm telling you, this is the road we're going to go down.
Ugh.
Because they will ignore the health risks when it comes to marijuana. Oh, no, that's a health benefit.
Supposedly.
Yeah. I'm just saying, watch down the road for another I fucking told you so moment. They're going to try to ban tobacco.
But promote pot.
Yes. Just saying. All right, more music stuff. Tying into TV and streaming and movies and all that good stuff. I told you we're going to do Freeform this week. Kind of having fun. We did our 4 songs, which was awesome. I still think I'm right and Dave's wrong, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, you're always wrong, but that's besides the point. Here as we're rolling on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as iHeartRadio. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page. You can find a link to every single episode of the Weekend Edition as well as the Sports Edition, which drops every Thursday morning on those same awesome platforms. So as we get back into our freeform stuff, talking about all these awesome music documentaries and movies, Duran Duran on Netflix. There is something you should know. I dabbled into this a little bit. And I think I mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
Where they do a lot of the talking in cars as they drive through the neighborhoods.
It was
where
the
they
whole
grew
motion-inducing sickness.
So at some point we should get into that.
Yeah.
Because Duran Duran, I've always said this, Dave can agree with me, or again, he can poo-poo me as he loves to do, because he's a big poo-pooer. But when we were growing up, it was not cool as a guy to like Duran Duran.
Right. But we appreciated their music.
And now we can say that we were huge Duran Duran fans back in the day. Said that about George Michael and Wham. You could not, when you're a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old in school, I like George Michael.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Wedgie, super atomic.
Head into the locker. Now you can say, I like Wham. I like George Michael. Come on. So we'll get into that documentary. That's a short one. That's only an hour long.
That's doable.
Amazing how they do an hour.
And Bon Jovi needs
almost 6 hours to discuss their legacy.
Yeah.
And of course, today, as we tape, May the 1st, on Paramount Plus, they have dropped a whole bunch of new episodes of Behind the Music. And one of those in particular, very, very important to me. I have watched the first 15 minutes of it, and it's gonna eat me up inside, because it is Wolfgang Van Halen, and it's basically It looks like it's going to be them trying to do the Van Halen behind the music that they could never do back in the day with the old footage.
Yeah.
And Dave walked in as we were getting ready to tape tonight and saw me watching it, and they were showing the old Unchained video where Alex is got the gong behind him on fire, and just that iconic with the crossed drumsticks
Yeah,
over
with the
his head.
flames behind him.
Yep.
So awesome.
Yep. The classic Van Halen. And of course, a lot of Valerie Bertinelli, I guess. So there you go. But this is what MTV has become. Now a subsidiary of Paramount Plus. But I will have that for you in the coming weeks. Now, Dave does not, believe it or not, the man who reads 472 books a year does not have a book this week.
No, I've been playing video games.
Do you want to tell the kids about your video games?
I got sucked back into playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So the storyline, I enjoy it. The graphics, it's a fun Western. Had to redo it. It's been a few years since I've played it, so had to give it a go. And now I'm sucked back in, and it's eating up a lot of free time.
That's what video games do, man. That's why I try
I'm
best.
just going to sit down for a half hour and play, and then 2 hours later, oh, oops.
The sad thing is there is something, doesn't have to be video games, could be anything in life, that's your time suck. There's something that's going to suck your time each and every day, each and every week, where you go, oh man, why did I waste my time doing that?
Because
you have
I
to have
enjoyed
it.
It
have to have that.
My downtime, my veg out where I don't have to think.
Right. Now that for me is probably wrestling, even though I really don't watch as much wrestling as you would think, for as much as I talk about it.
Yeah.
Outside of the main pay-per-view stuff, I don't watch Raw and SmackDown beginning to end. And I don't watch AEW anymore at all. So I don't. The pandemic, yes, I watched every show beginning to end because there was nothing else on. But you're gonna have that time suck.
Yeah,
that's that thing that sucks up all your time. All right, Dave, you want some bad news in the movie front?
Sure, why not?
Look at how he's taking that. One of those movies. Now we have got the Fall Guy coming up.
Yep, and Clint Eastwood badass moment for Ryan Gosling.
God!
And Mike Day.
God damn you!
For pulling out the Beavis and Butthead outfits on the red carpet premiere of The Fall Guy.
Dave,
ballsy ass
this
move.
could be the first time ever Dave and I have the same Clint Eastwood badass of the week.
That was brilliant that they did that.
Yeah, the Fall Guy red carpet premiere. The one Saturday Night Live skit out of the last 15 years that we enjoyed. Obviously, everybody did if they're doing this.
Yeah, that was an iconic skit.
Yes. So they show up as Beavis and Butthead on the red carpet. Absolutely.
Freaking awesome.
Double
special
badasses of the week. Especially for one Ryan Gosling, who I love beyond belief. Every man in the world should wish he was Ryan Gosling.
No kidding. He's got it going right now.
He's sticking his tongue down Emily Blunt's throat while he's married to Eva Mendes. And every woman in the world wants him anyway. He could probably boot Travis Kelce aside
and sweep
and say, "Hey, Taylor, I got your tortured poets department down here, hanging down low."
Oh wow!
All right, that's awesome though. Dave and I agree.
Had to get it out before we forgot
Your
about it.
weekend edition, Clint Eastwood badass of the week, once again, Ryan Gosling, for having the balls to put himself out there
As
again with
Beavis.
Mikey Day as Beavis and Butthead from that iconic skit just a few weeks ago. So we're going to see the Fall Guy. We're going to see the Fall Guy.
Yep, we got to get that lined up.
That could be a next week review, right? We're thinking about that possibly for next week.
Potentially, yes.
Couple weeks from now, we are talking about Furiosa.
Yes.
Another movie that we had on the agenda as a Sports Frenzy movie night out.
Yep.
Pushed back again.
Oh, come on!
Kraven the Hunter was supposed to be out August the 30th. Has now been pushed back to December the 13th.
For what reason?
Because when somebody else pulls a big movie out, they see an opening and they go, oh, well, we'll put our big movie in there.
Just leave shit alone. Put them out. You've got no content as it is. Move the shit up, not back.
Well, and the really scary thing is with the last few Spider-Man movies, now Venom comes out this year too, I believe. The Last Dance.
Yeah.
But we have seen Madam Web fail miserably.
Yeah.
Morbius did not do all that well.
Nope.
So I don't think they should be messing around all that much with these movies.
Yeah, get them out. Don't overhype them.
Now, for me personally, I love my good, sick, nasty horror movies. Terrifier 3 is out October the 11th. They've moved it up 2 weeks. You have not watched either one of those
yet,
have
have not
you?
yet.
I know they're out there. They're out there on Peacock or Amazon.
I should be able to find the Terrifiers. I'm a sucker for a horror movie, but we will see.
Yeah, these are beyond disgusting. But what the hell? You know, we're mature adults. We can get beyond the fact that they're pretty gross. All right, in other pop culture news, before we move on to TV and streaming, do you like Ritz Crackers?
Yes, I enjoy the occasional Ritz Cracker.
The occasional? See, I love Ritz Crackers.
Now, I have to say occasional because when I sit down, I'm going to eat a damn sleeve of them.
There you go. Now you're talking my language. There you go, buddy.
Where you get the sharp cheddar spray cheese.
Oh, and yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're putting out... What is the one thing about the Ritz Cracker that...
It's the crunchy, buttery.
There you go. Buttery. Ritz is putting out a limited edition butterier
cracker.
Yes, with even more buttery flavor.
Good Lord. What is this, the movie edition?
This is where you need a defibrillator.
No kidding. Good Lord.
Here's the fun part. As of right now, you can get out there right now, kids, and get into this sweepstakes to celebrate the release of the Ritz Butterier Cracker. They are going to give one lucky person a gold bar worth $100,000 shaped like a stick of butter. How awesome is that?
Oh, my God.
How awesome is that? That's marketing. That's marketing, kids.
It should be shaped like a Ritz cracker.
No,
a sleeve.
Stick of butter.
A sleeve of Ritz crackers.
No, stick of butter is perfect. Stick of butter is perfect. Oh, my God. So get out there. Put your entries in.
Get your gold butter.
So now I guess we have to go to the negative. After the positive, the feel-good vibes with the Ritz.
Yeah, there's always the downside of everything.
A New York appeals court overturned the 2020 Harvey Weinstein rape conviction. So somehow, again, the legal system fucks us all over. And one of the
Screws
biggest...
the victims once again.
Yeah.
Leave it to New York for you.
But the good news is at least he has to stay in jail until they sort this whole mess out.
Then he has to serve his time out in California still.
Jesus Christ, will he just die already?
We should be so lucky. That miserable piece of human refuse.
This would be one of the greatest years on record if we have O.J. Simpson die and Harvey Weinstein die. Oh my God. Wouldn't
let
that be
the
great?
band play on.
All right, let's move on to TV and streaming. Now, I gave up my Apple TV. I got my 3-month free trial. But I will say that I got 5 episodes through Sugar with Colin Farrell. And I liked it, but it just wasn't enough. And as we've been talking about the last few weeks, this whole allusion to the fact that he may be an alien, and they still won't go down that road yet.
That's just...
I know there's 3 episodes left in the first season, but that's a bridge too far for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, I also gave up on watching Monarch Legacy of Monsters. But as we talked about, and you talked about with Nick.
Yep, when they get so human center focused, where it's about them and not the monsters, then there's a problem with the movie.
Yeah, and what I have seen so far, 4 episodes in on Monarch, is that you get a minute or 2 of the special effects with the monsters, and then the rest of it is the human development, the character development.
Nobody cares about the human character development. It's all about the monsters and their battles.
Yes. And again, it's cool with the whole Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell thing. We get that.
But come on.
Yep. Now, a show that I think Dave and I will be reviewing here in the coming weeks, Dead Boy Detectives on Netflix. Of course, should have been in the Doom Patrol world.
On Max, but they fucked it up.
So they pulled it over, and now it's technically in the Sandman universe.
Yeah.
On Netflix. I have watched the first episode. I will just say, holy fuck, is this good? Oh my God. And the thing is, the reason why I give you this enthusiasm is because of the fucktards at Warner Brothers and the idiots at Max, where this would have been perfect to flow right out of Doom Patrol. It's got the same quirky vibe. The credits, you can goddamn tell the credits were made by the same company that made the credits for Doom Patrol. You can tell. It should have followed Doom Patrol. Everything about it.
Well, that's where they
started. Good for Netflix for picking it up.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
The first episode, stellar. If I could give one episode, 4 frenzies for one episode.
Wow.
For one episode.
Holy crap.
For one episode.
All
Don't
right.
know where it's going to go from there.
But initially,
the hook
is set deep.
It's great. It is great.
Very cool.
It's funny. It's got action. They do a great job introducing the characters, explaining their backstory without going too far.
Nice.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome show. Now, we alluded to this, I believe, on the sports edition. Those streaming fucking bastards jacking our prices up again. Peacock. Peacock Premium, not Premium Plus, but just the Premium, where you get everything but you have to watch the ads, will be up to $8 a month here in the next month or 2. They are going to push and push and push to the point where people are not going to watch. And I think you and I are the
So
exceptions.
frustrating.
You and I are the exceptions, though, I think.
Where
In that
we
we
will
actually
drop,
we pay attention to what we pay
yeah,
month in and month out.
and
And if
then we
we
will
don't,
determine at a point where it's not worth it.
right. Yeah.
But
They're
right now,
banking on everybody else.
there's still enough that we're watching on them to maintain.
Right. And my conspiracy theory with this is that when WWE gets pulled off, which it will, when Netflix takes over Raw, I guarantee that's going to be a full
That'll be a
throttle.
big shift.
They're going to shift everything over to Netflix because I don't see how they can do this, where they can have Raw move from USA Network onto a streaming service, but
And then
Peacock is still going to be able to show the repeats. I don't see how that's going to work.
How that's going to
There's,
fly.
yeah, you got about a year before a big change is coming. And Peacock's going to have to drop their prices because there is no way they're keeping.
No, the reckoning will be coming.
Yeah.
So now, does that, once Raw moves over, are all the big events going to move to Netflix then?
That's
too?
the thing. I don't know. Raw moves to Netflix next year. SmackDown moves to USA. But I don't know where Peacock's going to fit into this whole deal.
Yeah, because USA is owned by NBC Universal.
Right. So right now it's a nice little tidy package.
Yeah. But
even though Fox is out of it, but they have SmackDown right now, and there is an agreement where Peacock can show the replays. So who knows?
Who knows?
So you've been watching Tracker?
Yeah, we're about a week behind, but it's decent. It's not phenomenal. It's a nice, let's wrap the story up within an hour. And as I mentioned, the main character, Coulter Shaw, he's not a do-gooder per se. He finds people for money. He's a reward hunter. That's how he earns his living. Makes no bones about it. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty to get the job done. Yeah, it would be so much better on a streaming platform if they could get down and dirtier.
Yeah, I still want to watch that at some point. And
I mean,
now,
it's kind of a fluff thing, but it's entertaining enough. The storylines are decent enough.
Well, maybe this will draw both of us into it a little bit more. One of our favorite actors is going to be appearing on Tracker here very soon, playing Mr. Shaw's brother.
Ah, the estranged brother.
That would be one Jensen Ackles.
Nice.
Of course, from
very interesting.
Supernatural and The Boys.
Very intriguing.
Yep. So he's going to be. Now, I don't know if it's just one episode, a multi-episode arc, as those in Hollywood are wont to say.
Yeah, I could see how it could be a multi-episode arc based on the books.
Yeah, so you would have more knowledge of that. So, but Jensen Ackles, I'm in. Again, one of the coolest guys in Hollywood, right there with Ryan Gosling. Yeah. So Netflix still gonna push things. Netflix still tries to do things a little bit differently than everybody else. Of course, we know Greg Berlanti. He was the guy that did all the great DC shows.
Yeah.
On the CW, and he did Titans and Doom Patrol.
Yeah. He gets it.
Okay, well, we better hope he gets this one.
Oh, no.
He has committed to a Netflix series, a live-action Scooby-Doo Netflix series.
Oh, God, just let Scooby-Doo go. Just let it go.
Oh, yeah, Velma's back, by the way. That atrocity on Max. Max can't
Let
put
it go.
anything on there, any way, shape, or form related to the DC universe. But we'll let Mindy Kaling do that piece of garbage Velma again for another season. Because God forbid anybody tells her no. She's a minority, Dave.
She's also talentless.
Oh my God, she's beyond talentless. And finally, before season 1 has even aired on Amazon Prime, this one you might like. Cross, based on James Patterson's Alex Cross books, has already been renewed for a second season, and the first season ain't even out yet. I like the actor. I like Aldous Hodge.
Okay.
I just don't like James Patterson's writing at all. I've never liked his writing.
Gotten worse over the years. I like the Alex Cross character.
Yes.
Love the character. Morgan Freeman played him beautifully.
Yes, in 2 movies. Right, Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider.
Yeah. But,
and then, of course, Tyler Perry played him in a bomb.
Yeah.
I'm not judging it. I'm just saying box office bomb.
Yeah.
Did not do well at the box office. I am not a fan of James Patterson. Never have been. I think he's a hack.
I haven't read any of his stuff in years.
He whores out his name to anybody and everybody so he can make money off of them.
I used to read the Cross books, but those had even gotten kind of eh.
And then, of course, you got this book coming out in a couple months with him taking over an idea from Michael Crichton.
Yeah, the Crichton estate asked him to.
That scares me. One of the greatest writers of all time meets one of the worst writers of all time. Boom!
Matter and
eruption.
Antimatter.
It's an eruption. Oh, wait, that's the name of the book. Eruption. Yeah, I just don't like his writing at all.
No.
And you and I have read a lot. You've read a lot more books than me. But I have read a lot of books. And I usually 75-80% of the time will read a book through and say, okay, I'm going to give them a chance. And for the most part, they usually end up okay. There's something there. There's something of a redeeming quality. I mentioned here recently that I am reading Joe Ide doing Philip Marlowe in The Goodbye Coast. This might be one I have to stop reading.
Oh, wow.
He is so wrapped up in minute details.
Oh, no.
He lists things. He meets Marlowe, his version of Marlowe in present day, meets a character, and he's got to tell 10 pages of backstory about the character. I'm like, oh my God.
No.
Can we just get on with the plot?
No.
So rarely do I do this. And I am a lot more ADD than Dave. I might have to call it quits on this one and move on to something else.
And you know, it's okay to stop reading a book.
Yeah. Don't waste your time. Again, precious time.
Too many other good novels out there.
There's movies, TV shows, whatever. Don't waste your time on crap.
Yeah.
All right, kids, your Saturday morning hangover cure is heading down the home stretch. The man to my right is the conquistador, Dave Height.
And that is the maestro, Kevin Crane.
It is time for moments of silence. And unfortunately, too many times here over the last few years, it's all about rock and roll. And it just kills me. Because when we see the fallen soldiers in the world of rock, just pains me. Pains me beyond belief. We have first up the founding member, one of the founding members, the final surviving.
Yeah, the last original member
of the Moody Blues. Yeah, Mike Pinder has passed away. Now, a lot of people know Justin Hayward. That is a later incarnation of the Moody Blues. That is you could call it the classic lineup, but that's not the original lineup.
Right.
And then today, two big names. Guitar legend Dwayne Eddy passed away. And then, of course, we were talking about possibly going to see ELO on their farewell tour. Outside of Jeff Lynne, you could probably say Richard Tandy was the one other stalwart, constant member of ELO, keyboardist. Richard Tandy for ELO just passed away.
Ouch. So thoughts and prayers to their family and friends.
Yeah, and again, I know it's coming. We know it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. But just hate it when I see all these great rock and roll icons pass away.
Yep.
And yet somehow the Rolling Stones still go.
Go figure.
We need to go down to the crossroads. Find that contract signed in blood.
Nice.
By all accounts, their tour just started. By all accounts, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, they're still nailing it.
Yeah. I watched...
it's crazy, isn't it?
I watched a little bit of a video, and I saw the set list. The set list looked perfect. Oh, my God. And again, I don't want to put a second mortgage on my house to see them.
But still.
Oh, my God. See them do Gimme Shelter, Sympathy for the Devil. Oh, I admit, I want my $80 back, John Bon Jovi, so I could have gone to see them or the Eagles.
No kidding.
Bastard!
I want interest.
All right, 3. 1, 2, 3. Contestants for the weekend edition.
As we pivot.
The Red Foreman dumbasses of the week, and Dave already kind of knows which number 1 is going to be. California Governor Gavin Newsom. Let's ask the public. Bad idea. Right there. Bad idea. Let's ask the public for their help as we try to design a $1 coin for the state of California. A lot of people had ideas, Dave.
A lot of people had the same ideas. Wildfire. Homeless encampments. Mudslides. Needles.
And this is the man that wants to be your president.
All the ills that are going on, and he is getting raked over the coals by his own constituents.
All right, next up, let's stick with La La Land for the last 2.
Sure, why not?
Hollywood, why not? We've got Whoopi Goldberg. We've got Jane Fonda. So let's throw Barbara Streisand out there as another clueless, old actress who doesn't understand the world because she, of course, has money and we don't.
Yep. She's always been that aloof diva who's clueless about how reality actually is.
But now she's taking shots at other people in Hollywood. And somebody I actually like. I do like Melissa McCarthy. I think
she's funny.
She's always came off as a very genial, funny person. Melissa McCarthy recently posted a picture on Instagram. I think she's trying to get in shape to try out for the dancing show.
Oh, the Dancing with the Stars or whatever it is.
Yeah. So she put out a picture and she looked pretty good. Looked like she'd lost a little weight.
Yeah.
And then she's got a picture with her dancing coach. And of course, old Babs had to jump in and comment on the picture. And, initially said, "Oh, you look great, you look great." Did you take Ozempic?
Ugh.
You don't do that, Babs.
Idiot. Idiot, idiot, idiot.
And her response after people started to criticize her, "Oh, I forgot that my comments were going to be out there for the world to see." Can I tell you something? Since we're just doing the freeform thing here as we wrap everything up.
What the hell was Brolin thinking?
What has Barbara Streisand fucking done? Honestly.
Mediocre movies and overrated songs?
What has given her this cachet in Hollywood where she's considered a goddess?
I have no idea.
We rip on Meryl Streep all the time, but that's because we don't think she's a good actress, but at least
she's done stuff.
And she's gotten the accolades to a point, even though we don't agree with them. But what the hell has Barbara Streisand really done?
Charged way too much damn money for one of her hack shows? I don't know. I don't get it.
Taylor Swift has already 10 times done anything that Barbara Streisand could do in her career. Yeah, they still look at Barbara Streisand like, ooh, Babs, ooh.
Who cares? I don't get it.
I don't understand where some of these celebrities get this status from.
I have no idea.
Clint Eastwood is an icon.
He's earned it.
Robert Redford, Paul Newman, we get it. Those actors, if you want to go actresses, you got your Meryl Streeps, you got
Diane Keaton.
Yep, modern day Jennifer Lawrence. But what the hell has Barbara Streisand done to deserve all the attention that she gets from the tabloids and the media? Seriously.
I don't get it.
You don't bring me flowers. That's half Neil Diamond right there, bitch.
Exactly.
That man is an icon. You ain't an icon in my book. Sorry, Babs.
Bye-bye.
And if you're going to criticize Melissa McCarthy for losing weight and imply that she took Ozempic, why don't we ask you, when are you getting your nose fucking reduced? Because it should have a building permit with how big it is. Bitch.
There you go.
Then finally, now you and I didn't watch this movie, but it got a lot of accolades a few years back. Moonlight actually won Best Picture of the Year. I think Mahershala Ali was in it.
Yeah, it did not spark any interest.
Right. But still, tons of accolades. Writer and director of that movie is one Barry Jenkins. And this is not him. He is not the dumbass here. Barry Jenkins signed on to do the Lion King sequel, which is coming out soon. He is doing Mufasa, the Lion King.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I really don't care if it's a good movie. That's all I care about. Make a goddamn good movie.
Make it good, yeah.
But of course, the internet fucking trolls, all the people living in their mommy and daddy's basement. How dare you make a movie like this? You're better than this. You made Moonlight. Why would you sink to doing Disney's dirty work by making this kind of crap? Let him do what the hell he wants to do. You can't accomplish anything in your pathetic life, yet you're going to rip on him because he wants to do something for Disney?
Maybe he enjoyed The Lion King. Maybe he's doing it for a young family member.
Exactly what he said. He said, I do this for the kids. Every movie, if you look at every movie he's made, he's had a hand in, there is an element where he's trying to teach kids. He's trying to appeal to kids.
Well, kudos to him, and the hell with you dumbasses for coming after him.
Trolls suck. And this is why social media, the bane of all existence. You can come at us all you want. We'll take it. Bring it on. Bring it on, bitches.
You know we give it back more.
You can't say anything to us that we can't fire back tenfold with.
So, suck it, you little piss ants.
That being said.
But not you, our loyal listeners.
No, we're not talking about you, but you know people in your life. People you don't like who pull this crap.
So I believe the dumbass of the week go to the trolls.
Boy, I really want to go with Babs, but I think you're right. I think we should just single out the trolls.
Yeah, as much as Babs deserves it, the trolls deserve it even more.
How do you denigrate a guy after coming off the success he had with an Oscar-winning movie because he decides, I'm going to do Mufasa the Lion King, one of the biggest, most anticipated movies of the year, because it's beneath you.
No, you're beneath him in a basement.
No, this is the same bullshit that you get from Christopher Nolan and from Martin Scorsese when they were ridiculing the superhero movies.
Right.
Now, we agree superhero movies have sucked over the last couple years. But that doesn't mean we're not entitled to go out to the movie theaters and have fun.
Exactly.
Every movie doesn't have to have a deep, meaningful social message.
And you know, most of the time, those movies are crap.
And that's why we're going to see The Fall Guy. And that's
right.
why we're going to see
We go to the movie to be entertained, to get away from the regular BS of life.
Yep. So, trolls, Scorsese, Nolan, just walk away. Just walk away. A little bit short this week on the weekend edition, but that's okay. Again, extenuating circumstances.
But we'll have a monumental episode next week, kids.
Again, 2 concerts. Two massive concert reviews for you. We've got songs. We'll figure out movies. I will be watching Dead Boy Detectives. I'm telling you.
I'm going to get into that one. I'm going to have to see if the boys are interested or not.
Yeah. No, I will definitely.
Just may say,
now, I will take my time with it. I will savor it like a fine wine, whereas you chow through it like nachos at McDonald's or Taco Bell.
I don't go to Taco Bell anymore either.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
I'll go through it like I inhale a sleeve of buttery Ritz Crackers.
There you go. Nice. Oh, see, now I'm going to cry because we've lost Tacoma FD and we're doing noise.
That's not noise.
Noise. All right, kids. That's your Uncle Dave.
That's your Uncle Kev.
We hope you had fun here. Just us hanging out and riffing on this weekend edition. A little bit less
plan,
structured.
but hey, sometimes you have to do it.
Yep, sometimes it works out better. So there you go. But next week again, tons of rock and roll to discuss. So until then, you go back out tonight, make the same mistake. Just realize we're not going to be there for you tomorrow, unless you want to listen to this all over again.
Maybe you tied one on so bad you forgot what we said and you have to listen to
go back in the archives, listen to an old weekend edition.
Yep.
And we'll still berate you first thing about drinking too much, screwing up, not getting the girl of your dreams. Because that's what we do. That's what we're here for. Until then.
Say goodnight, Kev.
Good night, Kev.